Welcome to the No Budget Indie Filmcast, where we dip into the independent film universe to highlight those little films that you might not have heard about elsewhere. Will you agree with our panel, or will they agree with each other? Tune in to find out. I am Milo Dennison, and with me, as always, is Claire Milan.
Hello.
And Cathal Feeney.
Hello.
Today, Cathal, what are we watching?
Today we are watching a film called Over, which is written and directed by Jorn Threlfall. So the film, it starts off late in the evening in a quite suburban estate somewhere in England, as you can see from Claire's background there. Then it works its way backwards from that point, and eventually we end up early in the morning, and it gets to the scene of something that has happened. Something has occurred very early in the morning. It's sort of very early on in this kind of reverse chronology, we find out that something serious has happened. And the story kind of unfolds in this way, almost like a mystery, until we discover the shocking truth. It's a very unusual way to tell the story, which is based on a real event, and it has definite echoes of the film Memento there. But for me, it works really well because it sort of contrasts the sort of prosaic ordinariness of like a suburban lifestyle and the matter-of-fact cleaning up and cataloguing of the incident with the macabre reality of what transpired. It's one of those films where you're waiting for the payoff, and it totally delivers.
Yeah, it's a fascinating film. I love the way they start off. It looks kind of ordinary, and just a car just pulls in, and they look at some flowers, and you're kind of thinking, oh, this is it's interesting, because I didn't read any synopsis or anything beforehand, so I just literally clicked play on it, and I didn't know what I'd be watching. But the fact they start at the end and then go backwards and leaves, like they put in certain clues, and your brain is working thinking, what's going on here? This is so strange. I'm not going to spoil anything, but at the end, I went back to certain parts of the film just to zone in on things, like, that's what it meant, and that's what it meant. And I pressed pause in some parts of it just to see things. It's extremely powerful film. I love the way it's filmed. I don't think there's any words in it, as far as I could see, as far as I could hear. I don't think there's very little words. They're kind of muffled, and even there's a person, and there's joggers, and they don't notice the person, and it's just really like, oh my god, and I think it was fascinating film, and really interesting technique of starting at the very end and planting stuff and then going back to the beginning, and then it's whoa at the end. That's all I can say about it without spoiling it too much.
Yeah, I agree. I like the way it was shot, and I was worried when it started that they were going to do that thing where they start at the end and then they jump back in time and then tell you how they got there. So it was nice to see how each sequence was actually just moving forward in time to get to that beginning piece, which did have that interestingly shocking moment in it that we can't mention without spoiling the film.
Yeah.
So it was nice the way they shot it, and clearly this filmmaker listens to this podcast or watches this show, because it was all in a wide, a nice wide shot. There was not a single extreme close up in this film. So clearly they've been listening to me, and thank you, Jorn.
Yeah.
Glad that you're a follower of mine for the way you filmed it. It's hard to say too much about this film without really spoiling it.
I know, yeah. I mean, I literally jumped,
Yeah, same here. I jumped, and we can't spoil this film. And it's interesting while you said it's shot in the wide, because in one way that adds a bit of mystery to it, and it kind of creates a distance, which is fascinating, because we don't see up close shots, and that makes it more jarring in one way. So it's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost certain kind of voyeuristic or, security camera,
Mhm.
but you are like, I mean, there are certain there's a certain one or two clues, I guess, at the very beginning. And there are like there's some little touches. I mean, there's one moment where you just hear somebody playing the scales at the piano, like do 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 do, and it just it really like it is such a contrast between just banal sort of normality and like this terrible thing that's after happening, and it kind of it shows how we do live in a sort of a bubble, kind of removed from a lot of what goes on in the
It's
world.
funny you mention voyeuristic, because you feel like you're intruding watching this film. You're like, oh, I don't know, I shouldn't be watching this. It's kind of private place or something. There's something a bit jarring about it, about watching it, but you still are glued to it to find out what exactly
Yeah,
occurs.
What's going to, you want to see what's going to happen in the next sequence. It's really true to life in a lot of ways too, obviously, especially because it's based on a real story, but not just that, just the people in it, and the people you jogging past completely clueless to what's going on, or anything that's going on in the scene, in the behavior, the police, the way they act, like nothing is unusual. You can literally believe every person in this film would behave the way that they're behaving.
exactly. Yeah, like even the couple at the beginning, they see the thing and they, I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
And even at the distance, you see somebody sort of at the boot of their car, just kind of loading the boot of their car, getting ready to go somewhere. It did look completely natural. Everything, it was so well done.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, nice, simple.
It's the kind of film you want to sort of spoil it though and talk.
Yeah, no, we won't. But and then you'll have to go back and pause it then at certain elements, like what I did. And I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
But no, we can't. You have to watch this film. It is fascinating and scary.
And there's a neat special effect in here. Do you think that was a practical effect or a CGI effect?
Oh, which
Um, I'd say it was practical. I don't know.
Oh, I know the effect you want. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe they did a little bit of sort of after effects, maybe,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they'd have to really.
Yeah.
We can't say anymore. You have to
it'd
watch
be
it
interesting
and
to
see,
see how they
and
do
then
that.
message us and tell us what you think.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's hard to know actually. I never thought about that, but it is
Yeah, it's like, oh God,
right.
I didn't expect that. Of all the scenarios, I thought,
Yeah, that was it totally too. Okay, well,
actually, no, it's fascinating. I just before we it's just that you can hardly see the flowers in the opening shot. Like you're kind of like, what? Why is there stopping? And you can hardly see them, and it sets it up so brilliantly. That's final word.
Okay,
let's do it. Claire, you want to go first? Do you want me to go?
Yeah, so this is a fascinating film told so well using wide angles, which works so brilliantly. I have to give it 5 stars because I can't fault it. For the actual film and the story it's telling, there's nothing really that they could have done better. I'm going to give it 5 stars.
Wow, a rare 5-star from Claire. Good job.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 4 stars. Not quite a 5-star for me, but it is really nice. I love the way it was shot. And I 4 stars, a solid 4 stars.
Yes, 4. A high 4. Yeah, I'm kind of torn now, because like
you were originally going to give it 3, and then we
well,
gave
no,
it
I was
stars.
going to give it more than that, but I'm kind of sort of I'm kind of teetering now between what I was going to give. Yeah, like it was perfect film, and like I said before, it's a film that that stays with you. You don't walk away. Oh, it was a nice film and forget about it. It does kind of still kind of has this sort of resonance after you've watched it, and for the same reason that I gave another film 5 stars, I will do it with this as well. I give it 5 stars.
Mm, 2 5-star ratings.
Mm.
You heard it here, No Budget Filmcast audience. High ratings for this film. As always, we'll throw a link so you can watch it yourself and let us know what you think in a comment or just reaching out to us on social media at No Budget Show on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And we'll leave it with see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
But